Let us know in the comments if you like the CX-9 or CX-90 appearance better. And also let us know in the comments, I forgot to ask earlier, what car you would have for less than $160,000. Got kind of a club vibe going in here with the music in the background.
Oh, are we recording?
We are.
All right.
It's okay. The logo isn't up yet, which means it's not official.
I still look bald.
Bald?
Mm-hmm.
You've got hair in the inside?
Yeah, but it blends in
because
with my
it's
hoodie.
black. Yeah, the black hoodie and the black hat.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
This
is the latest we've recorded a podcast in a while.
Yes, but we did have a pizza.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. The burps haven't started too hard. Okay. Our energy level seems good. We've driven some fun cars today.
We have. Well, I have this morning.
We've had fun at driving. Yeah, would your M2? Sorry, not your M2.
My M2
M Roadster. Was that some good car coffee this morning?
Yeah, except it didn't get up to temp until I was pulling into the complex, so like I couldn't even do anything.
You don't need full oil temp to do a few
you do.
pulls.
With an S52, you do.
Do you?
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
what our resident BMW expert told me.
Okay. Yeah, because his BMW.
Because the Vanos, it messes up the Vanos if it's not up to temp.
See, again, that's why I just want a Miata. You just get in, doesn't matter the temperature or anything. You just get in, red line.
Well, that's how you are about cars, though. You just,
I know.
You don't,
I want
you don't
a car
like
BS.
Yeah,
I don't. Life's too short to deal with waiting for your engine to heat up. My Boxster took forever to heat up because it's 10 quarts of oil. It's like, okay, by the time I'm getting off the highway to go to work, I can get a good pull in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Won't be like that with EVs in the future. Just get in and at it.
Get it in Florida. That's why Matthew likes his Tesla so much, because he can just get in it and as soon as he pulls out of his neighborhood, just floor it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The EV tax credit is changing at the end of this month, and Teslas will no longer be eligible.
Wow.
Well, for the full one, I think maybe still half for now.
Why?
Because
they're built in America.
Yeah, but they're adding a stipulation that at least I think it's half of either the materials or the production of the batteries has to happen in North America.
Where's the Tesla one done? China.
Yeah. So, I think we're just gonna drive the Maverick forever.
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
it'll never rust out.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, episode 67 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
Is it actually 67?
It is. Yeah, because we had 66 last time, and you were all like, oh.
Yeah, well.
Number. I've had a long week. I've driven a lot of cars.
Yes, you have.
A lot of traveling. Here are all the places. I think I listed these to you already.
You did when we were at Alcatraz.
Yeah, all the places I've been this month, last month. I was in Honduras, Mexico, Florida, San Francisco, San Diego, and Phoenix, and Northern Michigan.
And LA.
Yeah.
This was all in a week.
No,
in a month.
Was in a month.
It was in a month. Okay.
Yeah, but I was in all of California for
Charlie
for a week
was.
or so.
He's been
driving all the things.
Yeah.
And part of that was done in an M8 competition, which means I aged 15 years or so driving that car.
Yeah, and you also probably lost some from the
Soul?
From the G-force. Some of your body deteriorated.
Yeah. Yeah, that car is fast, but it's not a car that like begs you to drive it fast. So it's just kind of weird. It's not like an AMG that it's like you constantly want to be down.
Soulless missile.
Yeah. Yeah, the M8 competition is it's a beautiful car. I think
especially
it's one of
in Imola red.
Yeah, I did the Imola red, which is a nice bright red color. It was a white Silverstone interior. Great spec. It's a great car, but it's just weird because who is gonna pay $160,000 for an M car that's technically track capable, but like I just don't see anyone taking their M8 to the track.
Yeah, nobody's going to.
Yeah,
we know somebody that's just picked one up.
Yeah, and he likes his driving it around. Although isn't his a Grand Coupe?
No, his is a 2-door.
It is it is.
Right. Yeah, it's just like the one you drove, except it's frozen blue of some sort, dark blue.
Yeah. It wasn't Portimao, was it?
No, it's darker than that.
Yeah, more purpley.
I forgot what it was called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Tanzanite, or is Tanzanite?
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
Also, it lacks, much like more BMWs we're going to talk about later on the podcast here, it lacks charisma. At least you
Yeah,
get
soulless missile.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
get
they call
you get in the AMG GT63S, which you were not around to drive, but that car is like, oh yeah, like it feels like, oh, I'm in like a two-door coupe or something like that, like
Yeah.
I'm flying. But yeah, you could comfortably fit 4 people. The M8 Comp has probably as little room in the back seats as the M2 does.
Yeah. Well, you can have it in a 4-door though.
Yes, yeah, the Grand Coupe's the only one that makes any sense to get. And also, the other problem with the M8 competition is that the M8 50i exists, which is
Yes.
still very fast,
Yes.
$30,000 cheaper,
Yes.
and just as beautiful.
160. What would you buy with 160,000? You have to spend it on a car. You can't be Charlie and
Invest it.
invest it. You have to spend it on a car. What would you get?
Can I get
It can be new or used.
Can I
Be
get
whatever.
160 town and countries?
No, it's got to be one car.
It has to be one singular car.
So you could get a town and country, but then you'd be spending $1,000 and flushing the other 159 down the toilet.
Oh, $160,000. Am I like in my current state of life right now? I have a wife and
Yep.
and
You're you.
do I have to abandon all my other cars?
No, someone's just come up to you and said, "We love Daily Motor. We're going to give you a $160,000 grant to buy a car. You have to spend it all on one."
I would get. This is fun. Here, let me talk through some of the things.
I'm guessing
coming
it
into my
wouldn't
mind.
be an M8 comp.
If that's the rub, then yes.
Okay.
Then I can 100% assure you it wouldn't
Okay.
be an M8 comp. The first thing that comes to mind is a 99
Of course.
7.2.
GT3.
I don't think you can afford a GT3, can you? A 997.2 GT3
I
at
think
that
you
price?
could for I think you could for that.
Then that would be.
Or you honestly you may even be able to get a 991 GT3.
Is that better?
No, because it's only a PDK.
Yeah.
No, the 991.1 GT3 was only PDK. 991.2 GT3 you can
And that'd be too
have a
expensive.
manual, and it would probably be too expensive. Yeah.
So, all right, what would you, between those two, would you get a 997.2 GT3 or a 991.2 like GTS?
GTS. Probably have the GT3.
Yeah, I think
because
I would
it's-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking mine would probably be a Porsche of some sort.
Mm-hmm. So
you
that
could get couldn't quite swing a GT4 RS with its MSRP. You could, but
Mhm.
they're unobtainable for under like $220,000.
could you just get? Well, you probably wouldn't want Sean's gen, like a 99. What is that? 981.
Yeah, and those are only like 90 grand.
Yeah.
So you'd be leaving 70,000 on the table,
Yeah.
or else I would, because I prefer Caymans anyways. As you know, but yeah. Or what else? Like you could have one of those AMG things you like.
yeah, I was gonna say a GT63S would be way up there.
Yeah.
Of
What about a V12 manual Aston Martin?
ooh yeah.
V12 Vantage S with a manual.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Actually, I would consider, and I know this is ridiculous. Am I able to use the remaining amount of money on for maintenance on the car or repairs?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Then I think I would have. And you're not gonna like this answer.
Oh, it's a BMW. Yeah. V10 BMW. So the
the M6 convertible. I'd find the cleanest one
so you'd spend,
in the nation.
You'd spend like 40 grand on the car.
I'd find one that was like just perfect for like 60 grand, and I'd
Okay.
save the other $100,000 for
for when it
maintenance,
breaks.
which is every other week. Oh, what is this?
Are we still on? Are we still on? Are we still recording?
Everything's just freaking out on
Everything's
me.
broken.
Yeah, okay. I think we're still recording. It's
Okay.
I think the internet's just being real garbage.
Yeah, we're having some issues today with our
Yeah.
very high quality internet.
But yes, the M6 convertible is like one of my I don't think I'd ever give myself enough
Speaking of Sean Benet,
I don't think I could ever own it myself because I'm too practical, but like that if I had to spend that money on it, that would be up there.
Plus, you are a convertible enthusiast.
Exactly. And
That's
it's
right.
a 4-seat convertible. Probably
Yeah.
still has more room in the back than the
And
M8.
the perk of that is that you can hear that V10 with all that sky. Speaking of Sean, he just sent me a Lamborghini 400 GT 2+2.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 1967, and its current bid is 150,000.
Could
Right
have
along
that.
what we were
well,
already,
that'll obviously.
I'm sure it'll sell for
Yeah.
I don't know what these are worth. No idea.
Could I, for that price, could I get a Ferrari 430 of any kind?
You could have Yeah, not a manual, but you could get a F430 for sure. Because I was just thinking that. Here, let me see what.
Could I get a very desirable spec 360 Spider manual?
Probably. Yeah.
That would be up there.
That would be up there.
Mm-hmm.
So the last F430, the last manual F430 sold for $257,000 with 20,000 miles on it too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you could get an automatic one.
I think I'd rather have a 360 and get the manual convertible Spider.
Wow, 430 Scuderia 6-speed conversion sold for $270,000. Ferrari doesn't like when people do that, but
look up 360 Spiders.
yeah, I am.
That was a car I drove a lot in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit too.
That's right.
They had a yellow one.
Yep, 22,000. Oh, this one's a hard top,
Mm.
but it sold. Oh no, it didn't sell. It was bid to 140. Here's a Spider that was bid to 111 with a manual.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Let's see.
God, those have gone up because
here we go. This one sold 2002.
Hmm?
360 Spider 6-speed manual sold for 128,000.
Okay, weren't those worth like $60,000 like 5 years ago?
Yes. Yeah, now they're double.
Why didn't people just buy those instead of
Here's
investing?
a
in the
great
stock
example.
market?
Okay, this is BAT tracks previous times the car's been listed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a 2002, like I just said, 360 Spider. It's got 26,000 miles on it. It's sold in 2020 for 86 grand.
Holy cow!
Okay, and then 3 years later, about exactly 3 years later, it sold for 128. So it appreciated about 40 grand.
Do you
in
imagine
3 years?
getting
That's
to
insane.
getting to purchase that, enjoy it for 3 years, and sell it and make $40,000?
Yeah. We could have. We all could have in 2020.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, and I think about this all the time, he basically brought up in conversation with me back in, I think it was 2019. He was like, I really want to get into investing in cars. He's like, I think that would be so cool to have a car collection that kind of doubles as an investment. He's like, can you like put together a list of cars you think that would make sense for me to buy right now that'll be worth more in like 10 years? And I was like, sure. So I gave him a list. And then COVID happened and everything, and it just kind of never ended up happening.
It would have been the perfect time for him to do it.
I know, but one of the cars on that list was the Lamborghini Diablo, and those have gone. I mean, well,
Probably doubled.
See, yeah, they've gone absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Even just like simple cars like Mercedes Benzes from the 70s and 80s. I mean, pretty much everything has like doubled.
Everyone was
It's
stuck
just
at
gone
home
insane.
thinking about, the world's about to end. What car have I always wanted to buy? And then they've done it. You did that with your S-Class. You're like, I've always wanted an S-Class, so you've purchased
So
one.
I spent $2,000, not even $1,800. Okay, so Diablos lately have been selling. Geez, this one sold for 480 grand.
And Rob Dahm simply just had one of those as a daily.
He did, and someone crashed into it also.
Yeah. That's what happens when you...
250. Anyways, I want to see what they were selling for back in 2020. This one sold for... Okay, here we go. In 2020, 179, 141, 145, 125. An SV, 203. Then you're starting to get into 2021, 221, 200, 267, 331. Then you're into today. Let's see. 480, 370, 255, 250, 315, 453, 399,
Man.
270. Yeah, so I mean, it would have been, you probably could have bought a Diablo in 2019 and made at least 100 grand.
Yeah.
If you would have sold it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing is you can have a warehouse like this in the Midwest for $3,000 a month or whatever, and then just park
them all here and
15 cars and then just kind of cycle them
cycle them through, make sure they got fresh gas, make sure the tires aren't flat, and
film a few winding road videos.
Yeah, so thinking back on that, and just kind of sad, but whatever.
You know, another car that you couldn't justify 160 grand for, but I would enjoy owning would be a C7 Z06.
That's right. Those are probably going to depreciate a little more.
Yeah.
But then they'll go back up because there's no more manuals. But you could also have the ZR1 with a manual in the C7, but the ZR1's not as good.
No, because
it's too sticky.
The ZR1's kind of manic and crazy, and you're going to overpay just because people think they're worth more, whereas the Z06 will actually is actually undervalued, I think.
Yeah.
I think the ZR1's overvalued because realistically, those two don't feel that different in the real world.
That's right.
I mean, they're only 650 horse versus 7 something.
Probably. Do you remember when the ZR1 came out and they used it at the pace as the pace car for the Grand Prix?
And Mark Royce put it in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally smashed it into the wall. Two of my buddies were actually working that event, and they detailed that car. And as soon as they were done detailing it, he got in it, took it out on the track, totaled it.
Yeah.
Smashed it into the wall, and they were like, wow, we just did all that for nothing.
What happens when you take a car like that out of traction modes and you're not Chris Amos?
Why was he driving it? Why? You think he would have turned off the traction modes as the pace car?
Yeah, he probably thought he's think about it. He's the president of an American car company. He's obviously got a giant like dick swinging complex, and so I'm sure he went out there. He had it in like full track mode because he's like, I'm on a track. I can handle
Try out track mode.
Yeah, and then what he probably did is coming out and like by some grandstands or something, wanted to like kind of rev it up or like vroom, kind of take off a little bit, and it went straight sideways. Because it wasn't even like a corner that he wrecked in, right? Wasn't it like straightaway?
No, I think it was a corner.
Was it? So maybe he's coming out of a corner and kind of got.
Looked like it looked like it hurt. It was a pretty bad wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Mark Royce. Have you ever seen a photo of him?
No.
Kind of looks like the type of guy who would like wreck a Corvette and then like probably blame someone else for it or something. Like, oh, you guys made the tires too slippery. Put tire shine on there or something like that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Is he the one that crashed it?
I'm fairly certain. Just look up Mark Royce ZR1. Crash. Fail. Epic fail. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no.
It wasn't?
Mark Roos.
Royce. That's how you pronounce Royce.
Oh. Ooh.
Was it out of a corner? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It totally came out of a
Dude,
corner.
he's on power the whole time. Literally, you can see that he's not even braking. Look, he's not. Never touched the brakes. Never touched the brakes.
Yeah.
Not to say that really would have helped him, but it probably would have slowed him down enough to where it wouldn't have been as bad of a crash.
Yeah. Rough. Sorry, Mark. Do better.
Airbags went off.
If you get us a C8 Z06 presser, then maybe we won't bring up your past, mister. But yes, I would enjoy a Z. Do you think now is about the right time to start buying C6 ZR1s?
And Z06s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or C5s even. I mean, you can still have a C5 Z06 for like 25 grand.
Yeah. I don't know
There's
if those
wait. Go ahead.
Those certainly won't get as high in value as C6s.
You don't think so?
No, because there's too many there's too many cars now that you could literally just go buy for like 38 grand that have like the same performance as that.
Yeah, but a
C6Z was like when they started getting cranky, like crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
So enthusiasts will always be like will continue to be fans of a C. But look, for example, at like C4 ZR1s. They're expensive, but not like.
No, they're not crazy.
No, you can negotiate.
That was the first Corvette with a 6-speed. This is the ZR1, pretty sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to make money on cars, just go out and
talk to me.
Talk to him, or just go out and buy every good deal on a clean Texas or California owned C6Z or ZR1 and just park them in a garage. And then in 20 years, you'll be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Well, you'll still be a millionaire depending on the size.
And then come and talk to me.
He'll hook you up with some others.
I'll advise you on what cars to buy.
Yeah,
which I would do if I had any money.
Yeah.
Well, which I have done, which is why I don't have any money.
Well, let's think about of all the cars you own.
Okay.
Which will appreciate? The Mercedes, yes.
Which Mercedes?
Both.
I guess both will. But
both will appreciate because you bought them at the bottom of their depreciation curves.
Yep.
ML55 and the SEL.
Yep.
460.
No.
Damn it. 420.
420 SEL.
420 SEL. Right. I forgot they flipped them back then.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, is it 89?
86.
86. Okay. And then, so those two will appreciate. Your M Roadster definitely would appreciate if you held on to it.
M Roadster, yep.
The Cobalt definitely appreciate. Not a bunch, but like it'll
tick,
tick, tick, because it's in very good shape. There will be someone who owned that as their first car and didn't hold on to it the way you did.
Yep.
And then they'll be 40 something and they'll be like, oh, look at this. Like
and the Lexus.
The Lexus will appreciate because it's a manual, and the Cayman will appreciate.
Yep.
So all 6 of your cars you should keep.
Okay. How about your cars?
The Maverick will not appreciate. And the F-250 will not appreciate. All right, great. V-Strom, no. Benelli, no.
The Boxster would have if you would have kept
The
that.
Boxster would have appreciated, yes.
Yeah, and it has.
Yes.
What'd you sell it for?
12.
12? Oh, that's actually not horrible. It'd
Well,
probably be worth like 18 now.
Yeah. Yeah, 18 if I really wanted to go through with the difficulty of selling a Porsche. It's 16 if I just wanted to, like, take it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, can you
Take it
imagine?
out back and shoot it.
Can you imagine sitting as the seller, and you probably can because you probably helped people do this, but the seller of a Porsche on BAT having to answer all the stupid questions like, oh, how thick's the paint here? And, oh, has it had this rear main seal inspected in the last 6 months? Like,
yeah, Sean and his dad go through that. Adam goes through that. I mean, it's really any car you
I gotta
sell
imagine
on
Porsches
BAT.
and Ferraris are the worst.
Oh, I mean, of course, but like anything you sell on BAT, I mean, you gotta. The thing with BAT is that a lot of people don't understand that it's basically like a full-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a private seller and you're selling a car on BAT, you have to be on it. Like you have to be answering every single question because potential bidders, they're not necessarily the ones asking the questions, but they're watching to see if you're a respectable person replying to the people that are asking the questions. And if you're an honest seller and if you have the car represented very well, and if you're, really good at going through and answering those questions, then I mean, that's where the money's at on BAT. Obviously, like having the car well represented with a good paperwork in there, good photos, everything like that. Providing BAT with a good description. I mean, obviously they write their own description, but giving them all the facts. But it's like a proper serious thing.
Yeah.
We won't name the dealership, but a certain dealership that some of us are involved with. They have a CT4 Blackwing on their lot, and they were just kind of throwing around the idea casually, like, oh, we're just going to list it on Bring a Trailer. And like a lot of people they have absolutely no idea like what goes into that.
Right.
Like they think that it would be as simple as just throwing the car up there and letting it sit, type thing. So
yeah,
it's very complex.
If I sold the Boxster and I had to like listed it or whatever, I probably would have just done Craigslist and said,
yeah, exactly.
15 firm. I know what I have.
Yeah.
No calls after 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Old man style.
Yeah, you got to be real committed and passionate if you're going to use BAT, because if you're on there and you're not giving it your all and you're like evading the questions, like they will like crucify you. Like there was a guy selling a 997 GT3 that was like deflecting his questions and being real shady, and it ended up being one of the most popular listings of the week just because people were going on there to roast the shit out of him and tell him how horrible of a seller he was.
Jeez.
Obviously the car didn't sell. It didn't meet reserve because nobody was bidding on it. Because this guy was a total like douche. But
was he actually a douche, or you think the
Yes.
commenters were in the wrong?
I think the commenters were in the right to an extent. I mean, obviously, like things can be taken too far.
Right. There's no excuse to be like shitty,
No,
shitty.
but I mean, you just you can't go into you can't list something on BAT and just expect to like not have to be interactive
Sure.
with it. Like it's just
Sure.
But it really wasn't even that with this guy. Some people will probably actually know the auction I'm talking about. But,
Right. Well, he's listening probably.
yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but
yeah. Speaking of C5Zs, we forgot to mention that I did not win the regular
oh
car
no, but we did
reviews.
get this mug.
Yeah, I did get that mug. Now I need a second mug that says I signed up to win a C5 Z06 from regular car reviews, and all I got was a stupid mug. Yeah.
It's a cool mug.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm happy to support Brian over at RCR. Lord knows I've watched enough of his videos. There should be a feature you can turn on, which obviously this is dumb. So I don't mean this seriously, but on your YouTube channel, where if a certain user watches like a certain amount of your videos, then they have to pay more. Like if they've watched like 500 hours, then they like be like, you can't watch any more of this channel without
Should pay
like a toll.
$19.95, like
Yeah.
a toll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just like the total opposite of what you
Yeah,
want to do.
never
to your
let Charlie
fans.
run our country. Everyone.
Trust me, Equinoxes illegal.
TikTok illegal.
I don't mind TikTok. We had this discussion.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone made it that far in the podcast.
Probably not.
Was that last week? It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was
Well,
over
it was
a week
recorded
ago because
2
it
weeks
was
ago.
Friday. What day is it? It's Monday right now.
It's
obviously.
Monday. You are going to be a manual shifting enthusiast.
I am
this
going
week.
to be a busy enthusiast this week, and I actually have a text that I need to send that I'm going to remind myself to send.
Good call. Yeah, Chris is going to be sampling the 2023 Toyota Supra 6-speed manual, the best shifting BMW.
That's right.
I'm a bit jealous.
I
have
have
never driven
well,
that car.
we're getting it though, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we will be.
We're getting it in like 2 weeks after.
Yeah, but you're going to drive it on great roads and
That's
stuff,
true.
so it'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I've heard from a lot of people that it's great. I talked to numerous people at the last event about.
Amos says it's great.
Huh?
The Topher says
Yep.
it's great.
Omar, big fan. Miles has driven it, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah, so he liked it quite a bit, and yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything bad about it. I'm curious to feel the shifter because I'm generally not a big fan of BMW shifters.
I don't think it is a BMW transmission.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I see
I'm
what you're saying.
that
You want it to
I'm
feel-
like
feel
curious to
good.
feel
Yeah.
how that is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going down to Hocking Hills, a location that is good for driving, but I've never been.
I've never been either. It's
Okay.
it's almost to West Virginia, pretty sure.
Yes, it's on the border of Ohio and West Virginia, and maybe a hair of Kentucky there. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go because they decided to schedule it right after I just spent a month traveling, and I just am really not.
Yeah,
Interested in
I
doing
wouldn't. I wouldn't if I were you either.
Yeah, but I might fire up the old V Stromboli and roll out
With
you
us,
guys.
the old Strombone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you guys will have that and the Topher's Type R,
Mm-hmm.
which has now been unplugged of both active dampers and exhaust. Yeah. Leave it to the Topher to get like a modern sports car and then try to make it as old school as possible.
I know. I told him he just needs to buy an NSX because then he
does.
wouldn't have to unplug anything. It would
I've
just
told
be-
him that too.
Yeah. He should just sell all of his cars and get an NSX.
The thing is I almost, and I can empathize with him on this because I'm similar. He almost wants the challenge of like
That's true.
trying to make it work and
Yeah.
like figuring the secret
That's
sauce
also
to like
that's also a big
make it
aspect of
better.
his channel is like I did this and it's just
It's
it's a tenth better and
right
it's
because
like
that's what he did with the 4Runner.
Yeah.
The 4Runner could have been a totally
And
fine
he did
car
that
to
with
leave
his
in.
silver BRZ and his black Miata and his current BRZ
Yes.
and his Type R.
Yeah.
So and his 850R.
Mhm.
So every single car. He modifies things in such a specific way
Yes.
that are like it's never anything visual. It's never anything that you'd really it's never anything that like normal people would ever really notice, but like
But it-
enthusiasts, sure, like
Yeah.
swapping the diff out and having
Mhm.
slightly different gears or
and it
different
does make
sway
the
bar
car
end
so much
links.
better.
It
Everything
does.
he does
Dude,
just
his
makes
his
him
BRZ
so good.
drives so great, and it's
Yeah.
like just the few little things that he's done. I'll never forget the week we had a GR86 manual.
Mm-hmm.
I for some reason drove his BRZ the same week or the week after, and I was like, this car is so dialed in. It feels so much better,
Yeah.
and it's like nothing you would ever even really think about. So
Maybe
Yeah.
the Topher should open like his own tuning car company.
oh yes,
But it wouldn't be for like ridiculous, like, grant a bunch of horsepower and everything. You'd get the Topher spec.
Yeah.
And you'd make a sticker that would just be like that people would know that like that's been Tophered.
Yeah.
And it would just be a bunch of little mods to the car
Yeah.
to make it a little better. You'd take out active noise, take out active dampers, change out a little things, maybe a different tire, different diff, different sway bar,
Yeah.
something like that. And then the car would just be subtly that much better.
yes,
Yeah.
Topher tune.
We got an idea for you there,
You
Chris.
could
and
call
we
it
want
"Have It
royalties.
Tuned."
Yeah. There you go. How would you spell tuned? THUNED.
You'd spell it CHUNED.
Tuned.
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 Or CHEHNED.
Tuned.
Tuned. Have it tuned, mate. I've had it tuned, mate. I've had the RS Cose tuned.
Yep.
That was a terrible accent. Chris does it so well. He can do.
Dude, Chris
He can
does
do
good
the
accents
accent.
too. Yeah.
Well, now that we're done fangirling over the top.
Yeah. Should we talk about some more cars? All right. So we talked about the
Talk about
M8.
cars.
Let's talk about the M2.
Oh yes, and that'll be Charlie because he drove it.
Yes. I am glad that the initial comments on my video are positive because whenever we put out a negative review, I'm always a bit
Stressy.
worried. It is, yeah, because it's the internet just wants you to go on and say everything's great and rosy and rainbows, and the thing that they bought and spent half of their life
They want
savings on
validation.
is the best
Yeah.
thing. But you can't all be the best thing because that's not what the word best means. And the BMW M2 is not the best driver's car anymore by a long shot.
If you got any new comments.
It used to be close where you could go out. In fact, here's a great example. Car and Driver, that or outlet right there. I might even have this magazine somewhere in this office. Did a comparison between the M2, the GT350. You know what? I'm going to look. I'm going to see if I got this magazine. Stand by.
Okay, well, I'll read some of your M2 comments, I guess, while you do that. Oh, yeah. People are saying that they love your honesty.
Yeah.
Love the honesty. Thoroughly enjoyed the rip through the hills. I love this car. I think the 240i is the sweet spot. Yeah, we agree, actually. The M240i is actually one of the best cars I've ever driven. That purple M240i, that thing was great. I would say top 10 cars for sure. Loved that thing. Nice review. Do you not think though that the modern car feel makes them? Did you read this one yet?
Yeah.
Makes them more like a GT car in general.
I did think that while I was driving. I thought it feels like a GT car. That's why I said the M4 exists.
I know that should be the GT car. The M2 needs that. It follows this stupid philosophy that you've been very correct about, is that models exist until they get too big and then a new one comes and comes in below it. Right. I like the styling, not too big of a sniffer. That's funny. Thanks for telling the truth. Ugly, expensive, heavier, less driver engagement. Older M2 CS is the way to go. Oh, here's a good question. Is the 992 Carrera T worth the premium over the M2? The Carrera T, the green one we drove in California.
Oh, yeah. If you live in like driving roads, absolutely.
Yeah, so, well, how much is the M2? Well, I've got it right here. 60, starting at 63. Okay, so realistically, they're 70 grand. So you're going to be paying like $50,000 more for a...
Oh, yeah. I guess
Yeah, it's like 50 grand more. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, we really loved the Carrera T, even though everyone was upset about the review because we were whatever. Well, yeah, and they liked my review also on my channel where I just drove it. Oh, you found the magazine?
No, but I found one where the first drive
That was like such... People loved that car.
Yeah.
You had a moment with an M2 where somebody saw you...
Yeah, they saw me being a knob, and they were actually very respectful about it. They didn't rat me out to the boss.
Yeah.
They came. They called me over and to their desk, and there was an older guy, and he said,
yeah.
"You shouldn't be driving like that." I said, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "You know better." It was a mature way to handle that.
Was it a proper drift though? Was it a good one? Yeah, it was a good one.
Because it's the M2
Was it
GCT,
zesty?
and there was nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
All right, so this is... I wasn't able to find the comparo. I don't think I have that magazine, but there is a comparison out there, before I get to this, between the M2, the GT350R, whatever Cayman would be appropriate to compare it to,
Okay. and
there must have been a fourth.
Camaro?
No, it was another...
Z.
It might have actually only been those three cars. Oh, the Supra. The Supra. This is when the Supra came out. And they ended up picking...
Supra's been out for that long. Jesus.
Yeah. They ended up picking the GT350R.
Oh, that's a great car,
because
isn't
it's
it?
the best. It was the best driver's car, but the BMW came out.
I still haven't driven one of those. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it is actually, because they're excellent. You've
Yeah.
driven one around the lot.
I've driven one around. I've driven multiple in a parking lot when I was a porter at the Ford dealership.
That's just good.
Actually, I don't think I would have been a porter. I would have been a service advisor at that time. Whenever that would have been after.
So this was their first drive of the M2. Man, look at those great photos and stuff.
Yeah, it's sick.
What did they have to say? As solid, powerful, and fun as its bulldog looks imply, but limited steering feel and synthesized engine sounds.
Yeah, woolly steering still.
Yep.
How's the steering on the new M2?
Not good.
It's still woolly.
Yeah, still pretty vague.
I don't like BMW, the M steering.
Their verdict for this car was skip the M4 and go straight to the M2, collect $14,000. And I still agree, but now they're even... It's the thing that has the same wheelbase as the M4 and the same engine as the M4, and it weighs 3,800 pounds. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's not a driver's car anymore. This car only costs $53,000 when it first came out. What's the weight? I don't know.
So if someone came up to you and said, should I buy an M2? I'm set on an M car. Should I have an M2 or an M4? Would you tell them to get an M4? Or would you would?
Yeah, which is
Okay.
not the case.
X-Drive M4?
Yeah, because
That's what I'd have because it's nauseating.
then at least you can just scare people by launching it.
Exactly. Why do you have 6 of that same magazine?
I don't know, but I'm gonna throw them out. That's why I was like, why do I have 6 of the same magazine? So I just tossed them.
They should give them away to viewers. What is this one?
Yeah, take a look. Why can't I find the weight?
All right, everyone. Here's your chance. If you want one of these, there's 5 of them. This is the September of 2017 issue of Car and Driver. know if anyone would have any interest in that or not.
What's the head? Oh, it's just best new cars.
Just best new
for
cars
2018.
for 2018. So on the
boring
cover,
one.
we've got the 812 Superfast, Civic Type R, and the Range Rover Velour. Ooh, I want this the Focus RS ad. That's sick. Oh, this is for the 2018 RS.
You could frame that.
Yeah, I'm going to. Okay, so we're not giving them all. Or one of
we will, but it's just going to be
it's just going to be missing
a
a page. The 2018 RS was the one to have.
Why?
Because.
Could you get the drift stick? Is that why?
No, because it had a front limited slip, and the 16 and 17 just had the rear limited slip, obviously. But the 2018 had the front limited slip diff. It had RS center caps. It had a black roof. It had carbon fiber interior trim, and it had black on the spoiler as well. I think it had black on the spoiler. I don't know, but it was like, a couple little visual touches, but the big thing was the diff. So that was the one to have. And I don't think I've ever driven an 18 actually. I've just driven my dad's.
What year is this? 16?
16. Yeah, his first model year.
Yeah.
His was allegedly the first RS in the country. Allegedly.
Wow. From whom?
Some guy some RS dude that was from the SCCA.
Wow.
He allegedly, and I never saw any proof of this, which is why I don't go around bragging about it, but he's like, yeah, I ran your VIN and it's like the first one sold.
Is the VIN pretty low?
I mean, it's not really. You can't really tell.
That's weird.
No.
So the first model year, the M2, it only weighed 3,400 pounds. 400 pounds lighter than the current Gen M2. And the last paragraph of their story was, the M2 is a modern BMW, which means the steering is a bit removed and the stereo plays engine sounds. But it has the look, if not the irrepressible soul of the 1 Series M. It's a shrunken M4 in both size and price. Get the M2 and save the $14,000 for a rainy day. Whereas now that doesn't exist. I mean, the soul is gone.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that's what wasn't fun. I mean, it just feels like another M car.
Was that the one that you were being naughty in?
No.
It wasn't a comp.
It was a comp. That was a comp. That was the very first M2 that came out.
So the one you drove actually had the M4 engine in it then.
Yeah. The S.
Because this didn't. This was a different motor in the first one.
Motor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yep.
No, it wouldn't have been a B motor.
It's still an S.
It would have been still. Yeah, M car should have always been an S. It was just a different motor.
What other car would they have used it in? BMW's not going to make a one-off motor for this car,
right? No,
right?
we're using something.
Going to be a lot of... here we go. M2, it was the...
Looking on the wiki.
An outgrowth of the N55 line of the turbocharged inline sixes. The M2's 365 horsepower engine shares its pistons, crankberries, and redline smooching spirit with the M4's S55.
Oh, so it's an N55 still in that car then?
Told you.
Okay. You said B.
Oh,
so
I'm
B.
sorry.
No.
Wasn't the B what N motors were back then? Or was it? Because N was an M, right? Gosh, BMWs suck.
So first generation here. Yeah, N55. Yep. N55, and then the competition got the S55.
Yeah, detuned.
Yeah.
And then the
detuned.
CS made all the way up to 444 horse, I think,
which should have still been the
Was it
S55.
S55?
Yeah. Yep, still S55, but it was 444 and 406 torque.
Yeah, so it would be.
Did you drive the CS?
No.
Oh yeah, dang it.
I
don't think Chris ever did either.
No, we tried to get him one, and the weather got in the way.
Dang. Yeah, because I heard that was like the best car ever. The M2 CS
really
was
good.
like the car.
Yeah.
The car.
Last week, Chris and I also drove the 2024 Mazda.
Yeah,
Flip
see,
right there.
There you go.
CX-90.
That's how nice it is.
It is very good.
It's very good. Yeah, we were big fans of pretty much everything about it. There were a couple little technical things and little buggy things that were kind of pushing off as hopefully they were pre-production bugs, but
and I will admit it's not as easy to use the infotainment system as just having a good old touchscreen.
Yeah,
but it looks so much better.
Mazda, typical
with the
Mazda.
screen tucked way up away and
it
stuff.
does, but
and I don't like the looks of it as much as the CX-9. I think the CX-9 looks better.
I disagree.
Okay,
I like the CX-90 better because you can tell it's rear-wheel drive. Well, you can tell it's rear-wheel drive biased. because it's skinnier, it's
Long.
longer, it's got a long front end.
The GV70 looks like that, and it's not rear-wheel drive biased.
Does a GV70 look like that?
Kind of. Looks all elongated and like stretched back. And
I'd argue more the GV80 looks like that. Would you like to know why? Because the GV80 is rear-wheel drive.
Let us know in the comments if you like.
Wait, the GV70. Those are all all-wheel drive. All of them are. Which means it could have a engine that faces the correct way.
I doubt it's a longitudinally mounted V6. Well, it could be, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's
totally could be.
It's still going to be a lot wider than the inline six.
I'm just curious. I'm not trying to like prove you wrong or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Let us know in the comments if you like the CX-9 or CX-90 appearance better. And also let us know in the comments, I forgot to ask earlier, what car you would have for less than $160,000.
Yeah, this looks long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Long ways mounted. Yeah, it totally is.
But it's still much wider.
It's also set back pretty far.
Because it's a V.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So,
yeah, we were fans, and if you want videos now on the CX-90, there are videos. By the time you're listening to this, there will be video on the Topher. There's a video on Tedward's channel. I'm sure his video is great, and then also Winding Road that goes up this evening, but it'll be up. I didn't want to interrupt your M2, so I put it tonight. Go up tonight.
Double embargo day.
Wow. Yeah, it goes at like 5 p.m. or something.
Okay. Yeah, and if you want to wait to see Chris's and my take on both the plug-in hybrid and the inline six version,
oh yeah,
on Saturday we'll let you know. But the car, as I said, does come in 2 different powertrain options: the inline six, which was pretty good, and the plug-in hybrid, which was pretty good. Does make some weird sounds, but both powertrains have quite a bit amount of power. They're both well up over 300 pound-feet.
Yeah, 369 pound-feet.
And they're actually both over 300 horsepower as well.
The Turbo S inline six is 340. The regular one's like 280 or something. But the plug-in hybrid makes 323 horsepower and 369
on premium fuel.
On premium fuel.
319 or something like that. So if you own the plug-in hybrid, don't ever put premium fuel in it. It's just stupid. Just put regular. Yeah. And if anything, don't put any fuel in it. Just drive it as a hybrid. But you'll only be able to do that for about 26 miles at a time.
That's right.
Yeah. Not the most battery efficient
That
vehicle,
plug-in hybrid felt
heavy.
Properly quick, though. I mean, obviously, they were running premium at the event because they'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it felt just as quick as the inline six car. It was, I mean, it weighs about 500 pounds more.
Yeah, so you felt the weight a little bit more.
Yeah, you could feel the weight in the corners. But
if you live in Tennessee and you're going to be hustling your CX-90 back and forth down the tail of the Dragon to get to work, then you might want to pick the Turbo S.
Or just the regular turbo.
Turbo.
I mean, Charlie and I agree we'd probably just have the base model.
Yeah, because you save $6,000 over the Turbo S, but you get the same motor, just a little bit detuned. Yeah. So the interior is beautiful. It was comfortable. There's actually a good amount of space.
Oh, the third row is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a ton of headroom.
There are body-on-frame vehicles that don't have as much room in their third row. Yeah, as that car. I mean, it was quite good. We almost always find things to complain about.
Yeah, and the interior in this car is just stunning. In the Premium Plus, we can't speak for lower trims because obviously Mazda never shows their lower trims to us YouTubers. But the Premium Plus CX-90 Turbo S with the tan, which I don't even know what the color is called, like the peanut butter. It's got Alcantara on the dash. It's got a multi-colored steering wheel that I thought looked like a Bentley steering wheel, and there were some commenters on the Topher video that agreed. And overall, they just did a fantastic job. They went all out with the CX-90. I had so many people commenting on my Instagram story that I posted yesterday that my review was coming out, and everyone was like, "Holy crap, this is a Mazda!" Like, the interior is just wild. I mean, Mazda's really been they've been trying to move up, and this latest offering, the CX-90. I mean, it's
proper flagship.
Legit, proper flagship, and we'll have this. I don't know if you already mentioned that the CX-70 is coming, so that'll be a 2-row version of the CX-90. And
do we know that for sure?
The CX-70?
That it's going to be a 2-row?
Oh, well, I mean, it'll be a smaller version. I'm sure it won't come standard with a third row.
Okay.
They might offer it, but it'll be, I'm sure standard would be a 2-row.
I was just curious. I don't know.
Oh, no, I just figured it would be a 2-row.
Yeah, like a Ford Edge size, probably.
Yeah. And then, if we're lucky, maybe a sedan. I'm not getting my hopes up.
Ain't no happen. Yeah.
But I think the CX-70 will be the one to have. That'll be proper.
And even, oh, excuse me, I don't know why I get hit
Yeah, are
with
you
so much
sleepy?
tiredness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a little
this
sleepy.
heavy pizza, I guess.
Well, it's later in the day. We've had
usually-
gluten. We've been driving all sorts of exciting
It got
cars.
rainy outside, which means I got rainy
It
inside.
did get gloomy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Even the CX-5 that we got shuttled around in was quite a good car. I mean, like I got picked up at the airport in a CX-5 and we got dropped off. On the way to the airport, we had 4 adults, 3 of them with luggage, and we all fit comfortably in the CX-5.
Yep.
Yeah. But the price of the Mazda CX-90 is getting a little up there.
Yeah, but
The one we drove was about $62,000.
Yeah.
But before you freak out, you could buy yourself a nicely equipped version of one of these with the normal turbo and everything for about $50. And yeah, that's still high, but
not really though.
Hyundai's going to charge you
SUV.
$52 for a calligraphy Palisade. Toyota's probably charging like $55,000 for their top trim
I'd say that
Highlander
the CX-90 is very aggressively priced. I
for
think
what it is.
absolutely. When you're comparing it,
Especially
think about that Pilot Trail Sport.
I know, yeah.
It's like,
think about a Genesis GV80 and how much that costs. And we always say, "Oh, that's a great deal, great bargain."
yeah, the CX-90 is like just as nice inside.
Right. All you're not getting is like massaging seats.
Yeah. Well,
Other than that,
yeah.
Right. It was very quiet inside too. Remember driving on the
Super
highway
quiet.
in that thing? And it was
Yeah.
just,
Good NVH.
yeah.
Unlike what was that hideous? The Nissan Rock Creek.
Pathfinder Rock Creek. Jeez. I get about a comment per week on that video like, "Oh, you never driven a car with all-terrain tires? You should know. That's what you're getting." I'm just like,
Okay.
I did hear from some other journalists that the Mazda dealership experience is not the best.
Oh, really? Well, we might be finding out about that soon if Emily goes
you
for
guys already did find out once, didn't you? You went to, well, it was a Volvo dealer that was also a Mazda dealer, but remember.
Well, Emily's not watching, but I didn't interpret this car salesperson as being rude, personally.
Okay. But someone interpreted her
Emily
as being rude.
interpreted her as being rude. So, I don't know. I just thought that she was giving us numbers and kind of just being straight up. I mean, she was just like, here's how much it's going to be.
Yeah.
Here's what ones have gone for in the past.
Yeah.
We don't really have any on the lot. You'd probably have to order one. I mean, she was eating lunch.
She just wasn't being like buttery, like.
No, I mean, she was at her desk. She was eating lunch.
How can I help you?
Right, and I mean, I think, and Emily just took that as she was being rude, but I didn't think she was. But
well, some other dealers have mentioned that Mazda dealers. Some other journalists have mentioned Mazda dealers are lackluster. It'd be one thing if you're going to buy a base model Mazda 3. Fair enough, you're buying a $26,000 car. But if you're going to buy a $60,000 CX-90,
yeah, you should have a good experience.
You should probably have a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best thing about buying something like a Lexus or a BMW. We've talked about this in the podcast before, but you feel like you're getting something special from the dealership experience.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to when Gen Zs are running the dealers and you don't even have to talk to anyone. You just walk in and your keys are like sitting somewhere and you just go, "Thanks."
Yeah.
And you leave.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That's how both of my 2 new car buying experiences have been.
Yeah, the Tesla and the
Tesla was like showed up at like 6:00 and they were like, "Cool, here's your car. It's out there." And I'm like, "Thanks." And signed the paperwork in the car because it was COVID and stuff and just like tossed them the paper. And then the Maverick did everything over online. And this was actually super gangster by the dealer because trust me, most Ford dealers are not going to be like this.
Yeah.
But they were like, we did all the paperwork. I put a deposit, everything, like over the phone, like signed up for financing, everything. And then they left the keys in the car, and I just walked up, pressed in my code, got in, drove away. It was like Christmas Eve. No one was at the dealership. So that was really cool. But I know that most people's car buying experience at a dealer is not going to be that way.
Yeah.
So if you do have to spend hours in a dealership, at least when you're getting a luxury car, there should be coffee, and you should feel like you're in a comfortable place to be.
When my mom just got her X3, she said it was a great experience. They had the car inside with a bow on it and like all this like it was inside, it's all staged up and like it was cool for her. So she really enjoyed that. I'm actually sad that I was not able to make it. I think I was traveling.
Yeah.
But
my father, when he and my stepmom bought their X1 from BMW Ann Arbor, he said a really good experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I've and similar when I've had my IS300 serviced at the dealer, which was only one time to get a key. They like totally treated me like royalty at Lexus of Ann Arbor. Yeah, they did a great job. So
Mazda, you're building great products. It's time to start building good dealers. what else did we drive? I drove the 2023 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. And I can't tell you how it was to drive, but I can tell you that it will come in yellow.
Really?
Kind of an
Is
ugly
that so
yellow.
it can be a taxi?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, but is it that disgusting? It's not like this.
No.
It's like the Kia Seltos.
Yes.
Ugh, okay,
I know.
so it's
Why'd
not,
they
that's
pick
not taxi yellow.
They were so excited about the yellow too.
What's
like,
wrong with why can't we just?
Yeah, good old yellow, man.
I mean, I don't really want to own a yellow car, but I like seeing them.
Remember the first gen Focuses that you could
the
go in bright yellow?
ZX3 and like the zinc yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a great yellow.
I liked it. It wasn't great.
You're
but
thinking of screaming yellow, because you could also have that. I think on the later cars.
You're right. I think I am.
Screaming yellow was a
Zinc
good.
was a little soft, wasn't it? little pasty.
Yeah, zinc was like your notebook,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
screaming yellow was
Screaming
like
Yellow.
this Hummer.
Yeah.
Wheels.
Okay.
A little darker than this GT3 or GT2, whatever that is. So
I can't tell you anything else about that. I think I can tell you that it's a little expensive. I hope pricing has come out by now. If not, I'm gonna get outed by Toyota. But let's just say you could buy a Maverick and fuel your Maverick for a few years on the cost of a base Corolla Cross Hybrid.
dang.
Yeah. But I will tell you about the engine next week because it's under embargo.
What about the Prius Prime?
The Prius Prime is another car that I drove. I drove an XSE and an XSE Premium.
Still under embargo?
Yep.
Okay.
But it looks remarkably like the normal Prius. Maybe I could just tell everyone how the normal Prius drives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Tell us about the normal Prius.
It has the seating position of a BZ4X, which is very low slung, and the steering wheel kind of comes out you very low, and the gauge cluster is kind of above the steering wheel. And here's what I can tell you about both cars, because sitting in them statically, there's no more room for heads in the second
That's right.
row, the back seats.
That means every New York taxi is going to be a BZ4X and not a
or Corolla
Prius.
Cross.
Or
It's
a
already
Corolla
being made in
Cross.
yellow.
But they're not going to keep them that yellow color because it's the wrong yellow.
Yeah, you're right. It needs to be this color.
That is literally a New York City taxi Prius.
Yeah. These will not exist anymore because there's no room in the back for people.
Yeah.
I was shout out to Peter Nelson, former Winding Road contributor and now editor at The Drive, who was driving the Prius, and I was like, I'm gonna climb in back and drive around. He was driving around, and we went over a bump, and my head like crashed into the ceiling.
Yeah. See, the new Prius is very pretty,
But less
they've
practical.
Made it less practical.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. But they've had great press with that new Prius. I mean, people really love it.
The
And
normal
even-
Prius drives really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So
And
what else?
you
did we
cannot
drive?
get the Prius in yellow.
which is stupid.
You can only get it
because-
in gray, blue, or red.
Didn't they like show the concept in yellow or something, or was that a render?
You can get the normal Prius in yellow. You just can't get the Prime. Sorry. Can't get the Prime in yellow.
Are you sure you can get the normal Prius in yellow?
I'm pretty sure because I think I built one back when Amos drove it. He was like, "This is the best car ever," and I was like, "Well, maybe I should buy one." And then I looked one up, and I think I wanted a spec in yellow. I think it's the same, like kind of uglier yellow though.
Build your Prius. They say Prius in Europe.
Yeah, well, in England at least, it's just no longer
Can
Europe.
I just build one? Why do
No,
they do this?
Because are they telling you that like you
Our
can't?
apologies. We're having technical difficulties.
Mm,
That's their way of saying off. The Prius is sold out.
yes.
Yeah.
Just look up like 2023 Prius yellow.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay. Did I drive anything else? CX-90, M8. No. Oh, yes. Is it yellow?
Looks like Japan only.
Rough. Yeah, they like fun colors in Japan, don't they?
That's sick.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. It's like a
Mhm.
proper yellow.
Mm-hmm. Chris and I actually both drove a car last week that we have yet to tell you about. The
What was it?
2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Hello, Michelle. Yeah, we had a good time in the Santa Cruz. I mean,
It's a decent little truck. It really is.
yeah, I spent the first bit of the week with it and enjoyed it. It's very quick.
Yeah.
So the last week, the week prior, we spent with the Kia Niro and the Volkswagen ID4, both of which were dogs. I mean, they had no power at all. It's like 140 horsepower in the Niro and 60 horsepower in the Volkswagen 94. So I can get into this Santa Cruz, and it just like it's got 300 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, not
and
that heavy. All things
powertrain,
considered.
powertrain shared with the Sonata Edline.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that DCT, looks cool. I was a pretty big fan. It just didn't have a volume knob because it was the limited trim. So you have to get a. We'd recommend you don't get the top trim of the Santa Cruz, for one, because it's expensive, and also because you don't get a volume knob or wireless CarPlay.
And if you get a cheaper one, you can, I think, get a normal transmission, right? Doesn't
I'm sure,
6-speed auto for like the
because it
base
would
car,
have just
and then,
the whatever engine it has, 1.6 turbo or whatever.
something. Yeah, which I've heard is dreadfully slow, but
Sure
also
it is.
wouldn't break within 100,000 miles. So you got to choose.
Yeah.
I think it still looks cool. It's much more refined than the Maverick, but it's also a good bit more expensive and less practical.
Oh, he owns a
So-
Maverick though, so he's biased.
Well, I am, but nothing I'm saying is wrong.
No,
You can't put as many things in the bed of the Santa Cruz
I know.
because that stupid hard cover gets in the way.
but
but
it
they-
works because it's above freezing out.
Right. And they want you to put surfboards in the back.
Looks
Or
so
snowboards.
sick with surfboards in it.
Yeah.
Be like the Dodge Diora.
Diora?
The Dodge Diora.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, look it up.
How do you spell it?
Deora.
Dodge. Deor. Ooh.
Isn't that cool? Kind of cool looking?
That
It's
is
from the 60s.
sick.
Yeah, it's like a one-off thing. Oh, they might have made a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Custom car.
Yeah.
Dang. Dude, I would have one of those for
Yeah,
sure.
it's dope. It was at Autorama this year,
That's fun.
and I have a Hot Wheels of it as well.
Do you really?
From the 60s. It's orange.
You know,
It's got little surfboards in it.
I think that I might have a Hot Wheels from way back in my childhood that I used to drive
From the
around
90s.
a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was an Isuzu Via Cross.
Oh yeah, I have a Via Cross. I have
Yeah.
one in the box still from the 90s. I think it's yellow or
Mine was
I think it's
silver.
Silver. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did a silver one. They did silver, red, and yellow. I think I have all three
Wow.
actually.
That's funny.
Yeah, I remember being at a Hot Wheels like a toy show once,
Mm.
and I was like, "Oh my god, a Via Cross Hot Wheels!" And I bought like every color,
How many Hot Wheels do you think you own?
thousands.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Have you seen how much some Hot Wheels sell for these days?
yeah.
There's a car and driver editor. Well, he's now a
I've
road
got
and
a-
track editor that sold
okay.
one for like $5,000.
Yeah, I've got a collection of red lines, they call them, which is what I just talked about, the Diora. I've probably got 100 of them.
So if
I
you
mean,
ever really needed cash, you could liquidate your Hot Wheels collection and be rolling in it.
The best thing about this is, red lines are the first edition of Hot Wheels. So they came out in like 67, 68, one of those 2 years. I think it was 67. And there were only 16 of them, like 16 different ones. They were called the Sweet 16. And they were called red lines because they had little red lines on the tires.
Okay.
You know, like back then that was a thing, like your red line tires. And,
Yeah.
you know, like in real life, like you could have the real red line tires.
Like how you can go get a Chevy Equinox red line right now and they'll put little red
That's on the
your-
wheel. This was
Yeah.
the tire.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyways.
redlining was also a form of racism done by like people in Detroit to make it so that people of color couldn't buy in certain neighborhoods.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's a bad thing to do. I'm just saying it's not only a good thing. But continue.
Anyways, I guess where I'm going with this is those are the most valuable, the ones from the late 60s, early 70s. And I used to go to these Hot Wheels shows as like a middle schooler. I'd go with a family friend that also collected Hot Wheels. He was an adult. So he would drive us there, and I would go up to these older collectors, and they would love to see like a kid being interested in redline Hot Wheels. So they would always sell them to me super cheap. Like they'd have like a really nice one for like $50, and they'd sell it to me for like 20. So I got a lot of really nice condition late 60s red lines for like $20 a pop that are now worth 80, 90, 100 a piece, and I've got a bunch of them.
That's cool.
So
You said there are only 16 though, right? Like 16 models. Do you have multiple? You have duplicates?
well, I mean, they as the years went on, there were more.
Oh,
Just
okay.
the first year there were 16. So
Okay.
in
Do
1967,
you have any of those Sweet 16s?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a Mustang. Here, I can tell you how many I have.
Okay.
There was a Mustang, which
Probably worth quite a
I
bit.
have. It was called the Custom Mustang. I've got a red one.
Let's go. Let's investigate the worth of some of Chris's Hot Wheels here.
Go to eBay. You'll want to go
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
sold listings. There were 68. Oh God, did I say 67? Sorry, I meant 68.
Well, we might not actually be able to make this work because
Oh, the internet's broken.
yeah.
Okay, so Beatnik Bandit, which was a custom car, like a legit car that actually existed in the 60s. It was a Ed Roth. You familiar with Ed Roth? Custom guy? Okay, anyways, I have that one. Custom Barracuda, which is a 67 Barracuda.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't have that. Custom Camaro, I don't have. Custom Corvette, I have. Custom Cougar, I have. Custom Eldorado, I have. Custom Firebird, I have. Custom Fleet Side, which was like an El Camino type thing. I don't believe I have that one. Custom Mustang, I have. Custom T-Bird, I have. Custom Volkswagen, which is a little bug, I have. Diora, I have. Ford J-Car, I have. Hot Heap, which is a Model T, I have. Python, I think I had one, but I sold a few, and I think that was one that got sold. And then Silhouette I have as well. So I have most of them.
Oh yeah, it's quite a few.
The only ones I'm missing are the Barracuda and the Barracuda, Camaro, and Fleet Side. So
nice.
But yeah, so
speaking of all those, do you have any CoPart cars for us?
Maybe.
I know you've been a traveling enthusiast lately, so you haven't necessarily been laying in bed for a bunch of time being able to look up CoParts.
I have one we can look at.
Okay.
It's a BMW, so you're not going to care. But
it might not load though, so let's see. Let's see if I can get CoPart to come up. Let's try switching over to this other Wi-Fi network. Maybe that'll work.
You know why I think I was confused between 67 and 68 is because 68 was like the year that it was like the model year. It's like a real car. Like they hit the shelves in 67, but they were like 68 model year. Hot Wheels.
Let's look up one of those Hot Wheels. What one of your
custom Mustang is a good baseline. Mine's red. I don't know forgot what color the interior is because there's this whole thing. There's like, sure, you have a custom Mustang, but some colors are more valuable than others. So like mine's red, but it's actually in really nice shape.
Okay, so
that one's clapped.
At least like easily $100.
I think I paid $25 for it. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's red. I think it's got the white interior, or tan or something. But like you could have the custom Mustang. There were a bunch of different colors. So there's so many different variations that make them worth more. Some of them had different hoods. So some had what was called an open hood scoop, where you could see the engine bay through the hood.
That's cool.
Those are worth a ton of money. Like those are like in the thousands.
How hard is it? Like, isn't it possible to just like kind of 3D print like a little part and make it like?
They do make reproduction open hood scoop. Yeah, there's ways to tell though if it's been messed with, and obviously collectors either know themselves by looking at it or they'll get it authenticated before they spend $1 zillion on something. So that one's probably pink.
Yeah, creamy pink.
Creamy pink. So pink,
white interior.
Pink cars are worth quite a bit because, for obvious reasons, they didn't make very many pink cars because a little boy in the 60s doesn't want to have a pink. We didn't want a pink toy. So the pink ones are actually worth quite a bit. There were also obviously different interior variations. There were different like window tints. Like you could have ones with blue windows or clear windows. You could have brown interior, red interior, white interior. It all makes them worth different amounts of money. I used to be really into this. I haven't bought one in probably 5 years, but
$1,400 for an antifreeze.
Yeah, antifreeze, that was a color. And that one looks great. So what a lot of these did, especially the antifreeze ones, is they would tone, they'd call it.
Like tuned.
They would tone. They'd have what's called toning. And this paint, the Spectraflame paint, would go on directly over the bare metal.
Okay.
So there's no like primer on this. So what would happen is the paint would deteriorate over time and tone. So it would switch. It would like change color. So you'd have little patches on the car
that
would
green, more green.
Yeah. So this one actually has a little bit of toning on the roof, and it's also got some pitting right there. You see on the top of the windshield. So you can see on the roof there's like some lines of different slightly darker colors. So that was a thing, and also
it's almost like better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's totally toned on the trunk there. You can see how it's all kind of different color. Yeah. But I mean, overall though, overall that one's in brilliant condition. Someone will probably pay $1,400 for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty silly.
Yep. For a car, for something this big.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe that Nissan Leaf will be worth something someday.
Probably not.
Appreciate. All right. What do you got CoParting for us?
Okay. 418-004-03. I don't remember if you like this generation of 7 Series or not.
Oh, is this the first?
This is the F01, so this followed the Bangle Butt car.
Yeah.
This is the one right after it. This one doesn't look too badly damaged, and it would probably be a pretty fun rebuild.
2012 BMW 750 LXi. Is this at the Lansing lot? No, Flint. Okay.
Every car I find is at Flint for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why that is.
Well, you and a lot of the Flint residents share taste in cars.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, this one doesn't look too
Looks
bad.
like it hit a deer.
Pure sale for $1,000 though. Yeah, if it runs and drives, dude, I'd drive it
It's
as
a V8
is.
too. If it's a 750, yeah,
Take the
4.4.
motor out of it.
It's a turbo V8. Should be a turbo V8.
It does have a low tire.
Oh, what a shame. 137,000 miles.
Rear.
It's probably getting ready to inhale its own timing chain guides.
It looks like it's probably only a TPMS sensor because that tire doesn't actually look low.
No, that's just a piece of snow going past the camera there.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
we're
else
getting a
we
rain
got?
alert.
Oh, well, is that from the Weather Channel?
Yes. Yeah, I think we should have that.
Mm-hmm. Here it is, idling at 7,500.
no check engine light, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like
I
it.
saw a check engine light. Temp gauge works. Probably.
Yeah, they had gotten it up temp somewhat.
Probably sat and ate their lunch in it or something because it's such a nice place to be.
Yeah. Look, there's 2 fuel gauges. One here and one here.
Yeah.
Very redundant.
It's
Yeah.
like the Mazdas.
You're right. We should go have this. That's a good use of our cash.
I bet the parts would be very expensive to fix that.
I'd just drive it.
Because
Like
those aren't really in junkyards yet.
Yeah.
So you would drive it as is. Yeah, you'd put a headlight on it and just,
Mhm.
of course you would.
Right. Better airflow.
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
it cool. Well, thank you all so much for listening to us ramble about the cars we drove. Oh, we didn't even talk about what we have this week. We have a Toyota BZ4X and a Kia Soul GT line.
Yes. We'll tell you about them next week.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget to comment if you want one of these Car and Driver new cars for 2018. I will personally ship it to you.
There you go. What
And
month?
Charlie will draw a penis on it.
What month was it from?
It's from September of 2017.
All right, September 2017. Getting some vintage C&D mags here.
Yeah, so if you want one, we've got 5 of them.
Oh, wait, let
but
me
we'll
see.
probably want to
Let me see
hang on to at least one, right?
I bet you the reason I had so many of these, this might have been the first issue that I was in the masthead.
Oh, really? Maybe we shouldn't give them away then.
No, it's okay. Let's see. Online copy editor, Charles Dreyer. So actually, no, this might have been the first year I was a copy editor because I would have
Wait,
been.
where is that?
That's on page 15.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, dude, you should sign. Okay, so we're going to send these out.
Okay.
And
I'll
Charlie's
sign
going to
them.
sign them, yeah.
Sign them on page 15, right
Yeah.
next to where I was on. And with Daniel Golson, who's also an editor at other.
Wow, there are so many names in here you will never find. Oh, Max Mortimer's in here, too.
Yep.
Road Warrior. Is Keone in here?
This would have been pre-Keone.
Oh, it was pre-Keone. Okay.
Especially if Sean Flavin was in the Road Warrior section.
Editor-in-Chief, Eddie
Alterman.
Alterman.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone would really know any of the other, if you're a YouTube fan, anyone on this masthead was like a YouTuber now.
You were a copyright editor?
A copy editor at one point. Yeah.
Copy editor.
This was my second
Beth
position at
Nichols.
C&D.
That's not Charles Dreyer.
No, it's you have to go down further. There's an online copy editor.
Oh, online copy editor.
Yeah, it's down like 3/4
Deputy
the way.
online editor.
Yeah, keep going.
Online copy chief. Online
below
copy
that.
editors. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Dreyer.
Yep.
All right. Paul Livingston.
Yes, he got let go.
Mm.
Actually, all of those online copy editors got let go, and that's when I moved to Road Test Editor. They got a new position for me, and then let me go with that. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then they clipped you. That's what we in college. That's what they taught us was the way to say instead of
I got
saying
fired.
you got fired, you got clipped.
Clipped. I've never heard that. All right, good. I got clipped from Car and Driver.
You got clipped.
All
You
right.
did.
Great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will come at you on the next one. We are Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always,
Clip on.
I was going to say N55 on, but yes,
and
clip on.